course, and I feel smarter than I was about an hour ago. And I think it's really wonderful that he took the expansive approach to the subject of infiltration and co-optation, because we're talking about the state, and the state not only has task forces that coordinate the different police agencies, but, well, they have the whole apparatus of the state. And in terms of the missions of the state has many missions. The state's mission, overall mission, is to control society. So there are many missions and many actors all coming under the state. But I think if we look at infiltration and co-optation in an expanded kind of way, the way Kevin was doing, we have to talk about what the hell is the state. People will use the term deep state a lot these days, and it itself is a heavy discussion. What is the corporate media? Is the corporate media, for example, just a subject to manipulation by the state? You know, we used to talk about the CIA's infiltration of the corporate media, and people would produce lists, usually coming from the CIA itself, of the co-opted, suborned columnists, for example, not just in the United States, but journalists around the world who had been co-opted, were on the payroll of the CIA. And then we had to talk not just about individual journalists, but the larger structures, corporate structures of lobbying, and how they shaped the coverage of the corporate media and made the corporate media actually an organ of either the state or the people who control the state. And that is, of course, a question. But I think in the current era, with the near unanimity of the corporate media in the war party's camp and in the leading the charge against Russia, and therefore the charge for war, which is consistent with folks who are in the state and want to solidify their control of the state, we could be talking about the corporate media as a wholly owned and operated organ of a deep state. And sometimes these differences between deep state and ruling class and the state itself in terms of agencies that are part of the line item budget are really not politically important distinctions. Mm-hmm. So I think it is important that we take this expansive approach to infiltration and co-optation, and I think that should include state manipulation of organizations and movements that we abhor, not just the ones that we think are in general